Greetings, I am Live.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
Yes.
Let's see what we can find out about this game together.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, because then your life gets to move forward. We can focus on you.
Oh, right.
Because you'd like to focus on you.
I already am. You all are just slow to catch up.
See, there we go. That's the splat.
Come on.
Well, you know how the festival is coming up, right? Me and Monica were going to make some posters and stuff advertising, exciting things that aren't actually literature and aren't really part of our club, but, will make it seem exciting. Like they do at those book fairs in, junior high and or grade school, where they just have, giant robots, and then they have, massive fantasy scenes, and they just make it look like Hollywood blockbuster movies, but it's, you stare at a page and hallucinate instead, but you don't know that until you get in the door.
Right, I don't care. Okay, so, real quick, actually, I was actually observing something that I'm going, so crayons and markers and glue sticks. I'm immediately going, it sounds kind of childish, one, but I also feel like basically your main character is going to actually bowl Sayori over and going to take over and go, you don't know what you need, and those aren't the proper things that you...
Materials for this project.
Yeah, materials for this kind of project.
That's interesting.
Instantly, the second I went, crayons? In,
high school?
A high school project? Shockingly, crayons are thought of in a pretty shitty way, which I think is really disappointing, because there was actually a couple of artists that I ran into over the years, and I am disappointed that I'd never kept up with them, but they did crayon art once in a while, and it was freaking amazing.
What I will say is that the reason, in my opinion, in my experience, and especially having done a lot of childcare and babysitting when I was young, and having been around young relatives and sometimes other other people that are around kids and involved with them. Okay, there is an experience where most people buy the cheap crayons, and the cheap crayons do not do the same thing as the fancy art crayons do.
Yes.
Crayola is a pretty good crayon. I will just say your standard box Crayola is a pretty good crayon for art. However, your dollar store crayons, your high wax content crayons, your ones that crumble and shred and slide a lot and make those really, your IHOP crayons are not good crayons. The crayons that I see given to kids most of the time are not good crayons, and most people don't think of crayons as being an art supply, and even Crayola has an artistic version that is a higher quality crayon that is more for high schoolers and people in art programs and stuff. And a lot of people move from crayons to colored pencils as being a higher form of the same type of thing, or they move over to pastels or chalk or things like that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think crayons are given a bad rap, and people move out of them because they go, the crayon can't do what I want, because they're using cheap crayons intended for mass use by children. And it has always been my opinion that you are going to get a better quality product from absolutely anyone and a better understanding of what they're doing if you give them something nice.
Yes.
Every time I've had a chance to teach kids art, and I volunteered to teach it or been involved in an activity for it, it has always been, I will get the nicest supplies that I can and then teach the kids to respect and use them well.
However, there was actually an interesting story, and again, this is an unusual case. I don't recall who the mangaka was. They might have even been a horror artist or something like that, but where their whole shtick that they ended up doing was literally going, I make comics with the shit that I can go get down at the convenience store.
Oh yeah,
and I thought that was fascinating.
And you can, but it's a very different process.
So,
and there are people who make really amazing things, from dollar store stuff, from really cheap knockoffs of things, from bargain basement things, but your average art skill, because it is a different process, you're using them differently than you are a different quality crayon. You're also using them to produce things differently, so but yes, fair, they can still, anything can be used to create good, beautiful, high quality art, whether you're going for realistic or just something looser or more abstract. But the thing is nicer supplies, or at least consistent supplies and direction how to use them, makes a really big difference.
Education usually tends to be the big stickler, and I honestly imagine more people would use convenience store, basically, supplies, because, business supplies or whatever else, you can use all that for art.
Office supplies are amazing.
Office supplies are great, but that's the thing of going that if you don't usually have the education or the awareness that you can even use them for that, most people don't think of it going, oh, I could just continue using that as a part of my art, or that is even an option for the art.
Additionally, there's freedom. When you are young and you are experimenting with things, if you're not supported in it, you'll either stop having interest or stop, being able, you won't be able to experiment.
Yes.
And there's a lot of emotional baggage that can come with people just going, well, you don't do it that way, or that doesn't matter. I was an incredibly irregular artist as a child because it was always this experience of going, that's cute, and now what are you going to do that's basically valuable, kind of thing, and what are you doing?
Where's my return on investment?
Yeah, what are you going to do for a real career? All right,
Yeah.
So I need to go find some crayons and markers and glue sticks.
I see.
And poster board and trifolds and, scotch tape and...
Yeah, I'm gonna need to help you, honey. Sure. I'll go.
Really?
Because I'm going to freaking stop you before you get too far ahead and you're made of garbage.
Yay! I think. Okay, Monica, we'll be back really soon. Are you, going with Splat to get the supplies? The ones that just you and me and possibly the other girls talked about off screen, outside of club, without Splat being involved, because Splat's been here for everything, but that didn't happen here in the club. Oh, that's right. Actually, what I mean is, I know that Splat never listens in on any of our conversations, even though we all listen in on theirs. And so, as we discussed in the club at other times when Splat wasn't paying attention, there's no need to trouble yourself going to get those supplies.
Absolutely.
I'd be happy to go with them. But I wanted to go, and by that I mean I was the one going, and I just invited Splat, so Splat isn't actually the one going. Splat is just accompanying to help, so it would be Splat going with you, or you going with me instead. I was expecting this. I was expecting another girl to go, I'll come too, or come instead.
Yeah.
Yep. Here we go.
Here we are.
It's so much fun exploring empty classrooms and stuff. Okay.
Don't freak out. It's fine.
It was just a suggestion. I just needed to show up and let Splat know for just a minute, even if it didn't pan out, that I'm genuinely interested in them, and that I'm going to make overtures to spend time with them, and that I'm available to them, and I'm happy to push you out of the equation to make myself available.
And that I am totally an option.
And that Splat will pick up on all those social cues, even if we don't get any time alone together. So, see if you can find some poster paper too, okay? Okay. Ready, Splat?
Yup. Shoot me in the foot. Let's go.
I have a Twinkie.
Fine. Nom. I'm satisfied.
Oh, look. It's back to the hallway with the cute little bottom windows.
Hey. Sayori and I exit the club room. I follow behind as Sayori hums and skips around the hallway.
Imagine Sayori facing you and skipping backwards down the hallway, because what's happening here in the illustration.
Honestly, mad props.
Yeah,
like you are so aware, or potentially not aware, of what's behind you that you literally either don't care or, again, are greatly skilled and know exactly what's going on, and you have a great memory.
Or somewhere between the two where it usually works out for you.
Yep, absolutely. Be like, it's fine. Honestly, it feels like I'm talking to a kid at the mall, taking a kid to the mall or something.
You mean it feels like babysitting, which is what it always feels like to be with Sayori at all.
And I could have said no, but I have definitely, clearly had to go and put myself into this position and just make myself be sacrificed at the altar of sacrifice to Sayori's stupidity and acting like a child. It's not like, I had any other options to say no or had, do other things with my time.
Well, because I am the center of everything and all that is important in the entire club.
There are more fucking people back in the other room. If I want to be at the center of attention, I could go back there and get way more attention than I could get with her.
But I don't want them talking to me, only knowing that I am the most important, and that on me it says important, and at the top of the club list there is Splat is important, and then nobody will bother me at all, but they all know I am the best. And so going with Sayori was clearly the only option. Otherwise, everyone would keep talking about this errand for the entire club and never get anything done, and I would have to be subject to all of them talking.
I want to be somehow at the center of attention, but not at the center of attention so that people don't feel like they have to talk to me. Don't they have to realize that I own all?
Can everyone just admire me quietly?
It's kind of like being a dominant cat and being up real high. and then just looking at you and knowing that I am in charge, but you do not have to interact. Kind of like that, but I am better than you. Sayori finds pleasure in the simplest things sometimes.
Because she is incredibly
simple. Hey, Sayori! What exactly are we doing for the festival anyway? Because what the fuck?
Because I know that I never listen to any of your conversations, but if I'm going to judge your choices and tell you you are doing this wrong, I at least need to know what you think it is.
I need to have a little bit of context before I dig. Not that I need much, honestly, but hey, I'm not sure how you would make an event out of literature. Holy flying fuck. Have you ever thought about that? What are you planning on doing? Taking a bunch of books and doing an art show with them and going, Literature Club, we have ground these books down into interesting shapes to, imply what's inside the novel.
See, what I was thinking is that, sex sells, so we were just going to make dresses out of books that were really revealing, and then, have snacks, and then hope for the best.
I don't think that's allowed on school grounds. Not that boys are really held to the same standard as girls are. You would think that, that they would recognize that, guys can even go shirtless or, change clothes in a more frequent and easy manner. Or the fact that also guys in that way are not respected as much as girls are, because that could be considered a sign of respect. I guess it depends on your perspective or something. Not that I respect you or anything, but,
Or that girls are not as respected as guys.
Yeah.
Strike reverse.
Yeah, that one too. Strike reverse that. Excuse me.
Me and Monica have it all planned out. It's gonna be food and titties everywhere. It'll be amazing. I'm so excited for all the titties. I mean, don't you worry, okay?
Is that so? I love, still, even on its own, that this character is really just I am so fucking skeptical. Even just with the words themselves. Done. The dot, and then the question mark. There's a lot of dot going on.
There's a huge amount of the protagonist, casting doubt and being sarcastic or skeptical everywhere. It is massive.
Really mean to Sayori, solidly going, I have no confidence in your skills or abilities or anything, and I'm clearly going to have to fix everything, so here we are.
Yep. Just like that. We're gonna do a poetry performance. It's gonna be amazing. So you know what? You know how they have slam poetry and it doesn't have to rhyme and it just has to have emotion and it's way more intense than flower.
Isn't it just rap?
Well, it doesn't have to have the same kind of rhythm as rap, and rap often has music, and they might.
There's a lot of rap though, where people just do freeform rap without music.
Lap for each other. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna again do this poetry performance, which makes poetry seem epic and amazing.
A performance?
Yeah.
Of what kind?
Well, like I said, it will have literature or poetry, or everyone is going to take turns on the stage, which means you too, and recite their favorite poems loudly and clearly and beautifully, and maybe to music, or maybe as a rap, or with interpretive dance, or you will be up there too, because I volunteered you for the event.
Okay, that's the music club down there. If you want to do music or theater, they're over there. Excuse me. The plebes need to go back to where they belong.
If I was getting into performance,
why the fuck wouldn't I be in theater? I'm in a literature club to go to sleep. Sayori?
To stay awake.
Why did you not tell me about this before? I do not need to stand up literally in front of everyone and show them how magnificent that I clearly am. They already know. I need a nap from them, okay?
But we agreed that, you would go to bed earlier, so you don't need naps. Because that was what we agreed on.
I lied.
Oh.
That sounds kind of dull.
But remember, we'll be wearing, hot, space-age outfits that are really revealing, made out of book pages while we do it.
Yeah, we're really fucking judgy of this entire thing. Going
and
both Monica and Sayori, except we're gonna push this all on. This is all Sayori's fault.
Yep, anything Sayori is involved in, any piece of it that's Sayori, all of it, we're gonna be Fucking shoot you down immediately.
Pretty much. Kind of dull.
Splat, you're not thinking about it the right way at all. You're clearly picturing something that's not good, and I'm picturing something that is good. And did I mention the sex yet? I mean, it's not just about reading poems. It's so much more than that. It's just about bringing the literature alive and helping people relate to it. And,
honestly, if you know what you're reading, you could read Shakespeare and get away with reading porn.
It's true.
It's true. If you know anything about Shakespeare, there are so many
read our favorite
dick
poems.
jokes.
I'm gonna read Sappho.
Excellent.
Okay, so at one point, having learned who Sappho, the artist / poet, was, who was apparently an infamously extremely gay artist, and that is
Huge
what she
lesbian.
is famous for, is being one of the canonical lesbians of the earth. And at one point, someone accused her of basically being a lesbian and went, sort of, you are inappropriate and this is not acceptable. And she's like, oh, no, I have a husband. My husband is amazing. And she wrote about him in a letter and stuff and how great he was. And the name that she gave him essentially translates from the one translation that I read as to like big dick man with a big dick. Like Dicker McBig Dickerson kind of man.
Which is great. She's just like, fuck you.
You know what? My husband, McHuge Cock Giant Slong. You will love him. He's an amazing man.
You laughing when I say biggest?
Dickus! Exactly! And so see, that was Sappho's husband, who existed in fantasy.
Oh, completely. Not just about reading poems.
It's not just about reading poems, it's about performing them with interpretive dance and food.
Musical theater!
And a passion, and like you say the lines of the poem, like between my feet, the last remaining flower beckons to me. I twist the stem, freeing it from its clinging roots, caressing the final joyous moment between my fingers. But to what ends have I summoned this joy? Look at her performing. She just went into full-on performance in front of Splat and is doing the emotiveness. And I love the timing in reference to picking the flower and stuff. That is very charming. I know this is about to be horrible, but here we go. For now, when I look in every direction, the one prosperous field before me is but a barren wasteland.
Oh, that was very good, friend. Good job.
Oh, thank you. Like that, see? And then it works really well because you have to be just really emotive. And then you have a little bit of like miming action that supports your words. And you have, strong vocal emotional performance. You have to feel what you're reading and then let the audience feel it too.
Sayori.
Yeah?
I hate you. How do I put this? I'm sure it's just me, but it's impossible for me to take you seriously when you talk like that. Wow!
Oh my God, it's amazing.
Wow, that is such a...
Your performative voice sounds fake and stupid, and I don't think you should do it, otherwise no one will be able to take you seriously, and what you will get is laughs and dismissal.
And also the fact is that it's you. Sayori, whatever you
worse.
do, it's terrible. Okay?
So, if anyone else did it, it would be bad. But when you do it, it will be much worse.
Well, here's the bar. Here is where everybody is, usually. This is where you are. Below the earth. Lower than the worms.
So, if you had a limbo bar set up for where you are and what people would need to get under to be less than you, it would be way under the ground. You meanie. I'm working super hard on this, and I just did an improv performance of everything I'd practiced by myself alone for you and you alone, and I felt really brave and comfortable because I keep convincing myself that somehow we're friends and you actually might be nice at some point, sometime ever, and you aren't, but I've been working really hard on this. You should know.
Look at this face.
Yeah?
Does this face look like it likes you?
But I really like that face.
Oh my God. I want an ice pick. I know.
It doesn't matter that you're working super hard.
I just meant that it's pretty unordinary contrast to your cute self. Here, let me just make you feel kind of better before I figure out some way to break your ankle.
Going,
It'll be fine.
You know, normally the only value you have, which we've already established, you know, with Natsuki, isn't valuable at all.
What if it is the fact that she is trying to branch out and she keeps getting shoehorned into you're just cute? Have you ever, like, I know you've experienced it before, being like, no, you're just adorable and small and waifish and you're so young, you don't know anything about sex.
I have never been called waifish in my life, but that's amazing.
I mean, that's what I usually tend to think of when people go, but you're so cute and innocent and fluffy.
And tiny and small.
Tiny and small.
Say, whether, the
Waifish.
thing is waifish is actually a size and a build, and I don't normally have it. But that's okay. That is quite okay.
Well, depending on somebody's opinion, I think you could be totally
Oh my God, some people have amazing opinions, and the thing is if you have a small build, you're gonna have 50% of people go, well, yeah, I guess you're kind of chubby because athletic build, and you're gonna have the other people go, oh my God, you're so tiny and skinny, and what you are is average for your size and your build, and you're going, cool, to both parties.
Actually, do you want to, you guys, there's a really cool thing, and I know we're running over, but it's really fun. Actually, where somebody went, here's basically what 120 pounds looks like on various different heights in regards to cisgendered women. Okay. And they showed how basically, and it's going to be different on different people anyway, because they've got different genetics and different, basically, like fat and different stressors and muscle mass and whatever else. But it was really like, here's 120 pounds on a person who's like 5'4". Here's a person who's, 120 pounds and they're like 5'10". And here's 120 pounds of somebody who's over 6 feet tall. And it was wild because it was like they all weigh the same.
What I have also seen, and that was a super cool one, is here's a bunch of women that weigh the same and are the same height. So you have all of them 5'8", all of them weigh 120 pounds. They are completely different sizes and proportions.
Yes.
And it's super cool.
Yes, and it's super cool, and it's also one of those things of being like radical body acceptance, of just being like...
Bodies are different and interesting, and I've said that before. People are very interesting to look at.
Yes.
Anyway, so we have just been judged for not just maintaining the cuteness of our cute self and trying to branch out
Sayori
at all.
Yeah.
I was just me.
Yes.
Me. I have been judged, and I have fallen unworthy. I mean, so in the next one, we're going to find out just about being a contrast to our ordinary cute selves.
That is not a surprise.
I was surprised.
You are constantly a disappointment.
I know, but I keep trying anyway.
Why? Alright! Well, thank you very much, guys, then, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also please feel free to share our videos if you're having a good time with us. Also, if you'd like to support us more directly, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or Patreon. We've got some links in the description down below. And other than that, I have been Scandal.
Are you sure?
Oh my God, who am I?
And I have been Lies. And it was... Oh, here we go.
What?
And it was great playing with you. Bye!